Hello, and welcome to Let's Make a Top-Down Shooter. This video is about adding some basic enemy movement to the enemy player character. So the first thing we're going to do is create a blueprint class. This will be based on AI Controller or one of its children. Detour, Crowd Controller, and Grid Path Controller have similar functionality with some added bits for those relevant aspects. So for now, we'll start with AI Controller. We're going to call this BP AI Controller, because we like fancy names. For an AI controller to work, we need a nav mesh bounds volume. So we'll go up here, we can quickly add the volume nav mesh bounds. So this world, there's 35 blocks. I counted them. Either way for both directions, and then 5 up. So the world is 3500 by 3500. So if we want to place this in the center, I'm going to put it at 1750. And then it's 500 tall, so 250. So throw that in the center. We're going to make this just a little bigger. So instead of 17.5 for the scale, let's set it to 18. 18. And we can leave that one at 5. Rather, 2.5. With that turned on, then now if we hit P in the editor, we can see the area that the nav mesh will cover. The dark black lines basically means movement won't automatically just go from outside to the inside of it, or from the top here to the bottom. You need to set up special nav links for that. So next, in the enemy character, we want to find the pawn section. In here, we want to set our AI controller class to the new blueprint we created. We're not doing anything with it yet, but that will be relevant. We also have auto-possess AI. So currently this is defaulted set to placed in world. We want this set to placed in world or spawned, because if you don't have it set for spawned, you might find some hard to track bugs later on. So placed in world is how we have it in the map. Spawned is when you spawn it in game while it's running. That set up, we're going to in begin play. I'm going to add some erratic and indecisive movement. And to do that, we're going to do a set timer by event. We're going to have this every 2 seconds looping. We'll add a custom event. We'll just call this move random. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a location, get random location, in the navigatable radius. So we give this a radius. We'll say 1000, which is about a third of the size. Well, I guess that's a radius. It's about half the size, or 2/3. It's just finding a point in that radius around the origin, which will be the get actor location. And it'll be on the navigation mesh. Or rather, it'll be a navigable area on the mesh, which means it won't find an area in here. And then we're going to use AI move to. We have to tell it the pawn to move is ourself. With the target destination that we just figured out. So when we begin play, 2 seconds later, it'll call this functionality, and every 2 seconds, it'll just keep calling. I'm also going to just force it to call it immediately. And when we run this, we get our wonderful AI movement. It flows so naturally. So the reason why it's not animating is because we'll go back in here. The animation blueprint up here. We're going to browse to that asset. I'm going to copy this into our enemies folder. Get a breakpoint. I'm going to hit continue. So in our enemies folder, we're now going to call this AI or ABP AI Manny. Go back into our enemy character and make sure that we hook it up. And in this animation blueprint, you can see in here, we're using the movement component to get the current acceleration. And if it's not 0 and ground speed is greater than 3, should move will be set. Should move is a toggle boolean, which determines whether it's animated or not. The problem is acceleration is based on player input, so we don't want that. So for this version, we can just drag that over there. It's only going to be used by AI, so the rest of this can be ignored. And now it animates as it moves. Now, if you find that your enemy movement is a little janky, you can go into the enemy character, do a search for raw. You want to disable use controller rotation yaw, and also enable use controller desired rotation. I don't really notice a difference myself, but that is what the experts suggest. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and would like to see more, you know what to do. And if you would like to support this channel or just want to download the project files, you can do so through my Patreon linked below.